YouTube, what's going on, everyone? We are back today with another video. This one is just going to be a spring catch-up video for me. I'm going to go over what I'm reading these days. I've been really enjoying the warm weather outside. I'm in Canada, but I'm in one of the warmest parts of Canada, so I do have a bit of a cheat code compared to some other places. But I've been able to read outside a little bit. Almost every day lately has been above 15 degrees, so that's been amazing. So I feel like I've been a good kind of reading swing. I've been cruising along right now, so that's been really enjoyable. I've got 5 or 6 books here today, maybe 7, depending on how my math is, that I'm going to share with you guys. It's going to be what I'm reading right now, what I've read the past few books I've been going through, as well as a little bit of a TBR I'm going to throw in at the end of the video that I'm also really excited about. So I'm going to jump in. My first book today I've been really enjoying, so I'm going to share that with you guys right now, and let's do it. First up today is a book I'm really enjoying. I've read it before, I believe in high school, I want to say. Most of you guys have probably read this book as well, but I think it's pretty much a classic that all of us have probably heard of. So I've been making a point to get back into this, and it's called To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. This, of course, is one of the most popular books of all time. I've been lucky enough to get an old school copy here. This was from the 80s. It says inside. The paper is yellow, so it feels like if that's the case, it's got to be a good book. So I was actually lucky to find this in the bookshare in my apartment building's laundry room. So I was like, okay, I'll take that. Sure. Cause I've been looking for it for a while. I was like, when am I going to bite the bullet and pick it up? I had it on order from the library. A lot of people have been trying to get this book because it was a long list. So I popped in downstairs to the laundry room. There it was. I said, I'll take that. Thank you. So now I'm reading it. I'm really enjoying it. General premise of this story, I'm going spoiler free all throughout this video, of course. But general premise here is this is going to be following the perspective of a young girl named Scout. And it's going to be following a case of understanding good versus wrong or bad in Alabama in the 60s. And it's going to follow a lot of her father, who was a lawyer. You might have heard of Atticus. This is Atticus. I always enjoy when you hear about a newborn baby or something born these days, and it's Atticus, probably named after this guy or somebody's grandpa. Could go either way. But Atticus is going to be a central figure in this book. And it's going to be a decision where Atticus is a lawyer representing a black man in a trial. So things are about to get really interesting. I've been enjoying it. I'm only, 50 pages in or so again on this reread. But I've really been enjoying it. I think a lot of people are also kind of getting into reading this right now across the book community. My library list certainly represented that. But I have been seeing it more and more online over the past few weeks as well. So I've been lucky enough to get a copy here. If you can find one for yourself, I do recommend you guys checking it out. I think it's a classic for a reason, and I'm really excited to finish up this book. I feel like it's been a few years, and I'm going to have a new perspective on it that I didn't have when I was a teenager. So I'm pretty pumped to read this book, To Kill a Mockingbird. If you can find it, do read it. If you've read it before, let me know what you think of it. Always love hearing what people think of the books they're reading. So please do that. And To Kill a Mockingbird, I'm going to hop into this and hopefully get this finished up in the next week or 10 days or so, because I think I've been pretty pumped to read this one. So I'm gonna do that pretty quickly, I think. Speaking of what other people are reading these days, have read before, or seem to think is really popular right now, Project Hail Mary has been my most recent read, and I really, really enjoyed this book. I was really jacked up to see this book. Speaking of books that have been really popular, not just over time, but right now, Project Hail Mary was one of my most recent reads. I think it's probably 2 books ago now, but I was really jacked up to read this book. I've never been a huge sci-fi book reader. It's just never really been my vibe. I enjoy a lot of reading, but for whatever reason, it's just never been my thing. But Project Hail Mary was a bit of a different case for me because I do really enjoy space. I really followed along a lot with the Artemis mission over the past month. I enjoy kind of NASA stories and the concept of space travel and exploration. I've just never really been into the fantasy characters and the alien makeups and different worlds and kind of things like that. No real reason. I just never really got into it, I guess. So Project Hail Mary was a bit of a different kind of experience for me. But as soon as I heard about the movie coming out over the past, what's it been since it was starting getting publicized, 6 months or so, I knew I was going to want to read this book. I got baited in real quick. I was like, yep, I'm going to read an Andy Weir book. I have seen The Martian, the movie. I did not read the book. Of course, know who Ryan Gosling is. Fun fact, his mother went to the same school that I did, so I got to support the locals. But Project Hail Mary, I've not seen the movie. I'm going to, hopefully sometime soon, but I did want to read the book first. I really enjoyed this book. I tried to ignore all reviews, dodge any commentary online that was going to give away spoilers, anything at all that might take away from my experience reading this book. I actually thought that it had been spoiled for me. So right before I started, a day or two before I started reading this book, I just saw something online by accident and I thought it had spoiled the ending for me. And I was like, that's unfortunate. But to my pleasant surprise, reading this book, it did not go the way that I thought it had been spoiled for me. So it actually turned out that I did know nothing going into this book. And so that meant that I was really able to enjoy it. So I did. This book was really cool. I took my time reading it. Some books, obviously, you can feel like you're whipping your way through. But this one, I really wanted to make sure that I was taking my time and doing it the right way. And I think that was the right decision. There were parts to this book that maybe kind of dragged a little bit. I'd say the first start of the book, I really enjoyed. Maybe it dragged for 20, 30 pages, but I think that was just kind of Andy Weir just setting the baseline. There are a lot of science. I don't know if it's all real science. I haven't even checked, but there's a lot of, efforts into science and numbers in this book. So some of that can kind of be a little tedious. But the storyline itself, I thought was really cool. Since I've read this book, I have seen an interview with Andy Weir where he described that this book was essentially the culmination of 4 or 5 separate book ideas that he'd had over the years. And he piled them all into this one book. Of course, created a banger that everyone loves. So I really enjoyed this book. I don't think I'm going to keep going on about this because I don't want to spoil it for you, other than I do recommend it. I think you should read it, especially if, like myself, you've never been really a big sci-fi kind of guy. I really enjoyed the experience. So Project Hail Mary, maybe you've seen the movie by now, but even if you have, I think taking the time to read the book is cool. I've also heard that it's a really good immersive read, listening to it while you're reading it. Or of course, just listening to it on your own. I could see it being a good audiobook while you're driving in the car. So yeah, I really enjoyed the read. I think you guys should read it too. I'm sure a lot of you maybe have by now. But if you're thinking of biting the bullet and going to the store and buying it, that's what I did. I didn't want to wait for it at the library. I was a bit of an eager beaver, but it was cool. I think it was money well spent. I enjoyed the read. I didn't know how the story was going to go. So I think that really helped. And I'd read something like this again. So if Andy Weir comes out and drops something new, I will check it out. I know there is some sort of a school of thought that says most Andy Weir books are kind of the same idea, just regurgitated, which maybe is true. I can definitely see there are some similarities to what happened in The Martian, in Project Hail Mary. But I would probably rate this book like a 4.5 out of 5. It's going to be hard to get me to give it 5 stars, but 4.5 out of 5, let's give it. I think it was really well done. I enjoyed it. Once I got into the meat of this book, I was cooking. It was game time. I was going to finish it pretty soon. I think I finished it in about 10 days or so. So Project Hail Mary, I enjoyed this. I'm sad it's over, sort of, but I'm also really excited about what else I've been reading lately. So we're going to do that next. So let's do it. What I've also been doing lately is I've been on a bit of a historical fiction kick. So I do want to touch on 2 books that I've read. I read them, I want to say I read the first one, then I read Project Hail Mary, and then I read the next one. So I had a bit of a crazier gap in the middle. PHM was not historical fiction. Maybe someday it could be. But I did split my historical fiction kick into 2 books. And the first one I read, I'll put on the screen here. It was called The Paris Express by Emma Donoghue. The theme premise of this book was it was following along with the 1895 train crash / accident in Paris. This book, again, was sort of just not really how I thought it was going to go. I thought I had a bit of an idea, even just based on the writing and the events of what was happening in the first 50 pages. I was like, I can see where this book is going. It's a shorter book. It's probably 220 pages-ish. So I sort of thought I knew where it was going to go, and I was like, oh, this might drag a bit for the next 200 pages. No, I was wrong. Again, shout out Emma Donoghue. You got me. And it was cool. The Paris Express is a bit of a different style of a book than I might usually read, and that it was a bit of a slower kind of pace at the start. It was very much a character understanding book. It was about the people. Like, you get introduced to probably a dozen, I want to say, like, central characters in this book. So it is a lot. You got to remember somebody's names, and every once in a while you got to flip back and say, who is this person again? So it's not a book that's like the easiest to read from a pick up and put it down, skip a day and come back to it. You sort of do kind of read it, in a fairly decent time frame, I think. Which I sort of did. But I guess going back and looking at it, I go, I probably might have loved it more if I had, really stuck with it and banged it out. But it was a good book. I would recommend it. I think I rated it 4 stars, I want to say, on Goodreads, because it was a cool story. And I gave it, a 4-star rating because it did, elude me of where I thought it was going. So it was cool. The general idea is that you're following characters and someone's going to create the accident, and you follow along with this character, and people are playing a bit of detective, but it's really just an introduction to the kinds of people that lived in the 1800s and the way people lived and how different it is now. So it was cool. It was loosely based on a true story. A really enjoyable read. A quicker read if you want something. So again, it's called The Paris Express by Emma Donoghue. I'd read it again. I would recommend it. It's a faster read, so you don't have to worry about this one taking up, your entire month. But if you're looking for sort of a breaker read between some heavier ones, I would check it out because it was a good book. I also took some time last month to read a book called The Cabin by Jorn Lier Horst. This is a Nordic noir book. A Nordic noir book means it's kind of in a gloomier Scandinavian setting. It's cold outside. It's dark, noir, if you will. It's kind of gloomy, moody. The pace moves at a bit of a slower pace. So you can see the book is medium thick. But I think the gist of that is that, while it's not a super overly complicated plot, the story does take some time, and weaves its way through a lot of different situations. And you have a lot of hangouts at the dinner table and just conversations between cast members in this book. So it takes its time, but it was a good book. This is the second book in a series featuring this main character, Detective William Wisting is the guy's name. He's a good lad. He's a likable main character, protagonist. And the premise is that he is solving murders and missing persons cases in his small coastal Norwegian town. He recruits in his cast and fellow gang of characters. Some of them are family members. Some of them are people he works with at his local police detachment. And it's just a fairly likable group of people. This is the second book in the series. The first one is called The Catarina Code. I have seen The Cabin actually in a fair amount of bookshelves over the past few weeks, so I feel like it's kind of catching on, especially here in North America. The Catarina Code was also very good. I believe there's another one coming out. I think it's going to be a trilogy in this series. While they do move at a bit of a slower pace, they're not, bang, bang action. I think they're nice, chill books. They're good kind of reading outside books. They're good reading before bed to kind of just relax your mind stories. So I would recommend this book. Again, I think I gave this 4 stars out of 5 on Goodreads. I'm excited to read the next one. I think it may already be out. I should probably double check that. But again, just a very likable book. The Cabin, If you like wintry vibes, moody vibes, I have a personal interest in going to Scandinavia someday. That's on the bucket list. So I liked it. I would read this book again if I could. I enjoyed it. I think you guys should check it out. It's called The Cabin. The author in general, if you want to see what else he writes, Jorn Lier Horst. He's an award-winning writer over in Norway and Scandinavia. Very good book. The Cabin. Do check it out. The other final most recent book I've read lately, I read this just before I started reading To Kill a Mockingbird. This is called My Father's House, and this is the back half of that historical fiction kick that I was on that I mentioned earlier. I really enjoyed this book. It's by Joseph O'Connor. He's an award-winning Irish writer, and this book is also part of a trilogy similar to The Cabin, but a very different vibe in this book. This is historical fiction. It's loose. There is a note at the end of the book. It's like everything in this book isn't exactly what happened. We Hollywooded it up a little bit. But the main characters in this book are based on real people. The main protagonist in this book, his name is Hugo Flaherty. I believe that was a real person. And the idea in this book is that it's following a group of people who are operating an escape line based out of the Vatican and Rome in the heart of World War II, helping people escape the occupations of Nazi Germany. You can see there's a nice colored individual on the cover of this book. Hugo Flaherty, the protagonist, is a priest and is working in the Vatican, and the book follows his story. It begins with a bit of what he got up to early in his life, and it follows him all the way through into the heart of the book, which is 1943 into 1944. A lot of the main events in this book take place on Christmas Eve. So it does have some wintry vibes to it, although it is in Italy, so it's not snowing. But it is still a kind of Christmassy based story, which just adds an interesting layer to it. I know it's another, what are we at now? 7 months till Christmas? 5, if we go back in time. We're almost at that halfway point. So it's not exactly peak season for Christmassy reading. But the only Christmassy part of this is the fact that it's the day that it's, the main events are taking place on. So it's not a holiday read. It's a good read. This is a part of a trilogy. I've actually read parts of the second book in this series, which is called The Ghosts of Rome. I only read about half of it. Something came up in my life that I ended up putting it down and just didn't end up returning to it. But I did remember enjoying what I had read out of that book. So I looked up that book to go get it again, and that's when I discovered that it was part of a trilogy. So I went and I picked up the first book to make sure I gave the trilogy a better, proper shot this time. And I'm glad I did, because I did really enjoy this book. There's a lot of different perspectives in this book. It is a bit of an ensemble cast style of book, where you're hearing from a lot of the main characters and their versions of events and their opinions on things. Very cool. My favorite character in this book is a guy named Enzo Angelucci. He is a Italian guy who does end up spending some time in Brooklyn. So he picks up a New York Italian accent, and he's just kind of a very, character that you might see on TV. He's very easy to visualize, and he's cool. And of course, Hugo Flaherty, is the boss in this book, and he runs the show, and becomes a very likable character, just in the first few pages where he starts laying down the law. And it's really good. You don't need to be a religious person to read this book. I don't consider myself a very religious person, to enjoy this book. It's just a good story. It does dive into a lot of Italy. So if you like that part of the world, there is a decent amount of that. And it is just a historical kind of World War II fiction story. So if you're into that sort of time period and understanding what the world was like during that time, this is a great read for that as well. My goal with this is to come back to this series. I'm going to take a bit of a break from it now, just because I just read this one, and I read The Paris Express. So I'm going to take a break, I think, from some historical fiction for a few books, but I expect it probably sometime this summer. I'm going to want to go back to The Ghosts of Rome and dive into that one and get ahead of the game before the third book in the series comes out. I looked it up a few weeks ago. I think it's scheduled for maybe 2027. So there's still a lot of time. So that's cool. But I'm glad I went back and read this book because it was really good. So if you want some historical fiction, do check it out. I really enjoyed it, and I think you guys will too. Now we are on to the party part of the video. It's time to have a good time and experience what's to come and forecast and hypothesis and see what's up next. Does that make sense? Science people? Does that work? Did I use those words correctly? I know I didn't, but can I get a pass? Ish? John Scalzi, When the Moon Hits Your Eye. I think this is probably going to be the next book that I'm going to read after I read To Kill a Mockingbird. It's between this one and the book I'm about to show you next. I have not read a John Scalzi book before, but thanks to Project Hail Mary, I am in the mood of reading some more sci-fi, space-focused books. So I'm going to read this one. I really don't know very much about it. I have not read Scalzi before. I don't know his style. The first sentence in the summary preamble inside the cover says that the moon is turned to cheese. I like cheese, so I feel like between me liking what's going on up in space right now and me liking dairy products, I feel like I'm going to give this one a shot. So I really don't know what's going to happen. It looks like a very manageable read. There's important names on the back cover that seem to say they've enjoyed this book from the reviews and praise on the back of it. So I guess if that means anything, it's probably going to be okay. It's a brand new book. It came out, I believe, end of 2025. So I'm going to dive in. I think I'm going to enjoy it. So yeah, When the Moon Hits Your Eye, I will let you guys know as I dive in and how I think it's going. I'm probably going to like it, I think. The other book I picked up in that same realm of feeling like I'm a temporary sci-fi guy is a book called Hole in the Sky. Again, I don't know the book. I'm not super familiar with it. If you go to the bookstore these days, you're going to see a lot of sections that say, if you like Project Hail Mary, you're going to like this book. That's what happened to me here. So Hole in the Sky by Daniel Wilson, also released in 2025. So another brand new one. I'm going to read it, I think. It'll be between this one and Scalzi's book as to what I read up next. What I see on the inside cover of this one is I guess there is some sort of meteor, large object flying towards Earth. I think it's going to go through a hole in the sky. Don't know. I'll find out though, and I will let you guys know as I read along. So I am really excited to read both of these books. I did enjoy Project Hail Mary. I did really enjoy Artemis, and now I'm going to read both of these, which are probably sillier maybe than Project Hail Mary, if that's possible. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting here, but I'm excited. So I'm going to do it. So I will let you guys know how it goes. I'll probably read these starting maybe a week, 10 days. It'll probably take me to read the rest of To Kill a Mockingbird. So I don't know, but I am excited. I'm going to give it a shot, and I will keep you guys updated as to how amazing these books are. And hopefully in my next video, I'll be able to recommend them properly to you, and I'll let you know how it goes. Before I head out today, I do feel like I should mention another book that I've got coming. I don't have it yet, but I have put it on order. Some of you guys may have heard of the author of this book, Matt Dinniman. The book is called Operation Bounce House. It's an orange as heck looking book. Like, I've seen it at the store. This thing is orange, but it sort of called out to me. I'm going to read it. I was like, I could read Dungeon Crawler Carl right now. Like, everyone's reading it. I'm going to read it. I'm going to get there. But I'm going to be a little different and just read the other one first. So my understanding is that Operation Bounce House is a standalone, and there's no one named Carl in this book. But I feel like it's going to give me a good intro into Dinniman's style. Similar to how I approached Project Hail Mary, I'm really trying to avoid reviews on this. I don't really want to know. I think, I don't know if it's lit RPG like Carl is. I'm really not sure. My understanding of the book is there is a group of people, and there is another group of people, and one of those groups is attempting to eviscerate / eradicate, terminate the other group. And this book is going to be a fun discussion about that, I guess. I don't know. But the cover is just orange as all heck. And for whatever reason, that interests me. I know the colors of the Carl series are pretty crazy, and I think a lot of people are just drawn into that. So I'm going to do it. I got it on order. I don't know when I'm going to read it. I feel like I probably should read it pretty soon. So whether or not I read it in between those two space books I got, whether I go back to kind of my typical style of contemporary fiction or mysteries or thrillers and kind of split these up a bit, not sure yet. But I am excited to read the book. So I keep sort of checking, where it is on the delivery status, and I'm going to get to it. So that's going to be my intro to Carl. No, not Carl Dinneman, Matt Dinneman, father of Carl, sort of. Okay. So I'm going to read the book. So I'm excited about that. So that's 3 books that are on my TBR right now. I don't usually have a pretty long TBR. So 3 books, that I'm pretty committed to reading is usually a bit long for me. I'm the kind of person who I have a list, at the library, that I follow along with, and I see what's available, and I mostly just kind of wing it a lot of the time. So having a sort of a prescribed set list of what I think I'm going to read over the next month is a bit of a different setup for me. But I kind of like these books I got right now. They look cool. I don't like buying a bunch of books that are going to sit on my shelf and then get, dust collected on them because something else hot and fresh comes in. So I don't usually do that. So this is a bit of a different setup for me, but I'm on a good pace right now. So we're going to see if I keep it going. And these 3 books on my TBR, I'm excited about. So that's my plan. I think that's all I got for you here today. It is the start of May. I think it's a really exciting time of year. It's going to be so nice reading outside over the start of spring. I guess it's the end of spring, but it's starting to feel warm. So let's call it the start of spring over the next few weeks. I'm really feeling good about that. So that's my plan. Again, if you've read any of these books before, please do let me know your opinions on them. If you think they're really bad, maybe don't tell me that. Maybe let me find it out myself. But I feel like most of these are probably pretty good. So that's my plan. If you're new here, all of you are. If any of you want to hit that thumbs up button, I think that does something, maybe in the algorithm, not sure. But if you want to follow, hit the follow button. I'd appreciate that. I enjoy speaking to you guys and talking about books. So I'm going to keep doing it. Thank you for watching today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.